There's another Doctor Who Lost Matches special. Special 19. It's KONQUER at it again. Roadblock 36 and Doctor Who. Doc and Block conquer at it again. Block eating the Smurf dicks. Ha ha! Shut up, Dr. Peace. As Block goes flying, to Fish Sticks restaurant. Conquer at it again. Doc and block. As I do want to say that honestly, reflecting on this, seeing this lost era at Doctor Who really makes me appreciate this run so much, because it was at a time where I was at my lowest, and Block really tried to help me and really said that I could perform at that level again and run a clan at that level again at a time where I didn't think I really had it. Because honestly, after the Mike shit with the split and the hiatus, that 19 months of, this is basically at the height of the 19-month hiatus. It was a lot of soul searching. It was a lot of, lost Mike, YouTube series got canceled, had high hopes with NVK. Brian, I'm just going to say it, went homeless and had to move from state to state off probation. So he was gone for most of 2022. So all the plans of NVK were thrown to shit. I went on Xbox, tried to be a Twitch streamer, which really wasn't me, It's just not me. The typical life of a streamer, how they act, what they do, what they're about. I basically gave in to that bullshit and just did stuff that wasn't me, trying to see if it would work for me, and honestly, it wasn't me. I won a bunch of games, I did some decent things, met some people, but it wasn't me, and it just wasn't working. And then, it was the Unholy run, and then this current Conquer run, the Apex Xbox run, which was during the Twitch streaming era with Xbox, the reboot. It was the Twitch was a reboot of Doctor Who, and it was a failed reboot, if that. So it's, I had a good Fall Guys run on Switch, and basically the highlights were, short lived. Was the I got a lot of wins on Xbox on Apex, which I'm happy with. Season 1 of Chapter 3 Fortnite, me and Master duos during the Twitch run, the Twitch reboot, I should say, on Xbox. I had got a lot of good wins. Me and Brian with Unholy had a lot of good wins. But honestly, the highlight was this Conquer run. This was a lost era. There wasn't a lot of good things that happened during that run. I wasn't myself. I didn't have my confidence. Basically, I lost everything. All the things that I mentioned. And I just wasn't myself. Was a shell of my former self. And Block really was instrumental in helping me. And this, reflecting on this run, this Conquer run, it was a lot, man. It was, they're not the greatest matches in the world, but we won a lot of matches. We covered a lot of ground. We were winning matches for Conquer. It kind of meant something in a time where I was at my lowest. Block really helped me get to the point where I'd come back, and the rest was history. So reflecting on this Conquer run, it's really emotional, because honestly, looking at it and rewatching it as I'm porting it, it's crazy to think how many matches we actually won. It didn't seem like it was that much grinding, but it really was. Me and Block just absolutely killed it as a duo on Fortnite. And this Conquer run is really something to look back on and appreciate it. So I'm very reflective of this run, which I haven't really thought of this run since I came back, since before I came back. you know. I just kind of been grinding and telling my story nonstop ever since. And looking back on what set up that, and looking back on the hiatus, you know, learning from all the mistakes that I made, and knowing the mistakes, respecting the mistakes, and shifting myself forward and bettering myself, and really caring to come back and validate myself, and really make myself mean something again. And this run basically helps set that up, and that's why it's so emotional reflecting on this. Makes me really appreciate this run more. Always reflect on the past and learn from your mistakes, as Conquer wins again.